Matthew Haynes, a name not a lot of you remember, but surely some of you may idolize. What? Like really, dude, what? Yeah, Matthew has returned. Wait, don't tell us you are talking about that Matthew guy. Yes, buddy, I meant that Matthew you're thinking of. Hopefully we are thinking of the same dude. So this man is living in an abandoned house, and I have twice featured him before and even admired his wall watch due to my stupidity and lack of self-respect. But here we are, once again, face to face with the man who has no plan from what it seems. As he was sitting by himself, not doing anything, he grabbed his phone and decided to share his experience with his followers. He was hearing some noises in the other room where he dumped his girl. Sorry, wrong script. That was my friend who dumped his girl. Matthew, on the other hand, was explaining how he dumped a lot of his stuff in that one room since his partner decided to move in, and ever since, the density of the paranormal activity in that room has increased. I feel like I'm talking about chemicals. So Matthew picked up a thud sound. He went to see it but found nothing, not before he heard a heavy voice right up in his ear. Or more like, right inside our ears. It was so loud. His stuff was even dropped or messed up more than it already was. The other night, a similar thing occurred, but this time, the curtain right in front of him was shaking and the door was left open mysteriously. Matthew decided to use sage to expel these spirits and purge the house, but in the process, he picked up a heavy voice once again and the light was swinging. One last clip where he was filming himself in front of the mirror before a hand, God knows how it appeared, almost touched his shoulder.
Okay. Probably should have picked it out like that. This doesn't help with my paranoia.
He's not gonna like this.
Right, so I suppose they need to light it until it's lit. And then blow it out so it's just smoking. I mean, just make sure that it's lit. Yep. Right, I'll grab it. Right. Oh, actually, one thing that I've just remembered, most people told me to recite the Lord's Prayer. So, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Who gives today our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. For thine is the power, the kingdom, the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Sorry if I mutilated that. I'm kind of nervous. I'm just going from corner to corner because that's what you're supposed to do with sage, to cleanse each corner of your room. Not sure if that door was open before I came in, but it doesn't matter. Right. This is one of the rooms that I'm really paranoid about because I've been getting a lot of noises coming from this room. I've got sage. If there's anyone in here, then I'm protected. So there's nothing you can do. For fuck's sake. What? No. I'm just filming because I keep hearing something coming from out here and it's doing my head in. What the f*** was that? So much, what? I'm kind of using the next room as a dumping ground. I've put a lot of things in there. And now I'm getting a lot of noises and things from that room, which makes me think a lot of you were right, that maybe spirits can attach themselves to certain objects. I'll show you a room. What I need to do is start leaving my hall lights on because I don't like walking out here. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm fine. Yeah. So I've been dumping everything in here, and I've started getting a lot of noises from in here. So if there is a spirit attached to an object, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to know which object. Right, I definitely heard something. I don't like being in that room. Nope. Sorry, I don't usually hear things at all. I listen back to the videos. God, my heart's literally racing. Well, there's no way on earth that were in my imagination. Right. Oh God, that scared me to death. That's just a draw. 100% heard something then. Right. Oh, no way on earth that were like that before. I give in. Hi everyone, I'm just recording because I'm getting the same thing again. I keep getting weird noises. Exactly like that. Yeah. Right. I don't want these curtains open. Keep getting weird noises coming over from... Right, that curtain's 100% moving. You know what? Like, everyone keeps telling me I can't be scared of these things. See, nothing there. Can't be scared of things, shouldn't be scared of these things, but the issue is I'm absolutely petrified. That door's open. That door was not open. No way on earth that door was open when I sat down. How am I supposed to not be scared of that? Nope, I'm gonna bet.
Sage art is actually a thing in Naruto, if you have ever watched the show. But regardless, these voices were a bit too high in our ears, in my opinion, as if they were blowing off the microphone. I'm not discrediting the man by any means, but in the end, we all have our opinions on stuff.
Which object? Which object? Which object?
Josh is back with his haunted house. This time around, he isn't present in the videos. We will only feature static camera footage from different sections of his house. Now, if you happen to be single and unmarried, what kind of reaction will you have when you hear another sound other than yours in your own house, and it isn't Alexa? You will definitely freak out. Unfortunately, Josh wasn't there to witness it live, but he had to rewatch the footage just like us. This lucky dude didn't realize he was already taken. He thought his single days would never come to an end. Based on the videos we will watch next, not only does this ghost make it apparent that Josh is not alone in the house, but the ghost also walks around to make sure the house is tidy. For example, in one of the clips, you can hear the sounds of footsteps walking around upstairs down to the first floor. This ghost also does housekeeping. When it does, it makes sure to knock the doors and even walls. Like in the next video, you could hear loud knocks. But now it all comes down to the main reason why I said this ghost is trying to convey a message to Josh that his days as a single dude are over. In the videos, you can hear what sounds like a female voice trying to scream at the top of its lungs, but the voice is very hoarse and washed. The words it's saying are unpronounced, almost like mumbling.
my head. I heard you do here. I told I you wanted that.
I don't know what it was saying, but since it's spoken by a possible ghost, and it could be demonic too, I hope it doesn't end up possessing me. It wouldn't be a nice ending for me to be possessed from a video. When you live in an area or a neighborhood with a bad reputation, and you were already aware of this information and facts before you had your hands on the place, then you should already be expecting the worst, because the quote says, if you weren't aware of it, then that's a problem. But if you were already aware of it, then that's an even bigger problem. Basically, we have a house, and the lady who lives in it has reported several creepy paranormal incidents she personally has encountered. The house with a history of tragic passings and supernatural occurrences. Crystal, the current resident, has been experiencing some creepy phenomena, such as being physically pulled from her bed, waking up with bruises, and hearing disembodied voices. Her late husband, Chad, is believed to still be present, attempting to protect her from a darker entity. That's some info about the house itself, but we are still not done yet, because we have to bring up some facts about the area where the house itself is, as it also plays an important role in the story of these creepy activities. The neighborhood is described as troubled, which is believed to contribute to the dark energy in the area. Several previous occupants of the house passed away suddenly, including a woman named Angie and Crystal's husband. Now with that out of the way, let's see how the Paranormal Nightmare TV team was doing during their investigation and what they had to go through. They used several ghost detecting devices, and they had some cold responses, which can only be described as very responsive to the paranormal activity that took place right around them, as they had some EVPs that linked perfectly with some of the sounds they heard, such as the knocks and the heavy footsteps coming from the second floor. At one point, as one of them was sitting in the kitchen, he heard knocks on the door that leads outside. He took a peek from the window to see who was behind it, but there was no trace of any creature.
Now, Sullivan Avenue is right outside here. Did you hear that? Was that you? Sound like someone goes, uh-huh. If you're upstairs, can you set that alarm off again for me?
Do you know what room Angie died in?
I think it was the one.
The back right, I think.
Crystal.
Whoa, whoa. Did you just hear that? That was that same voice.
The back right, I think.
Crystal.
Whoa, whoa. Angie, are you up here? Chad, are you here with us? Angie, if you're in that room, set that alarm off.
Are you upset with Crystal for some reason? Two knocks. Did whatever's inside this house, did you have anything to do with Angie's heart attack or Chad's heart attack? I just feel like something touched my ear. Did you just touch me? All the alarms are going off upstairs, but down here feels the heaviest.
Weird, even like when you come into this room, it's like you start to get the feeling, but when you go into that room, you get a deeper feeling, like a darker. Did you die outside this house?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Let me throw that epic box upstairs, because it literally has not said anything. I'm gonna go back downstairs. Oh,
No, what?
No.
I think that's twice now. It said yes, they've done.
Josh,
What?
Go look.
I think somebody's at the front door. I just heard the door move. Holy. Somebody's at the door. You heard that too, didn't you?
Was that door locked?
Yeah.
Because I said, is that door locked? And the thing said yes. Right there.
That was loud.
I hear you walking. You know, if you have a message, you can talk to us too. Are you a lost soul?
We're here to help you. Do you want me in one of the bedrooms?
Filthy.
Then come.
Sin.
Sin. Where'd you die?
Burn her. Real.
Burn her. Burn hell.
Scream.
Piccolo. That is the first time the Piccolos went off tonight, and it's down there by Crystal's bed. Piccolo's right here, guys.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, right here's where Chad passed away.
Hiding.
Well, come out here.
I need you to talk to me. Can you hear me?
This is here.
This is her. To your right. And I heard that to the right.
Angie, are you still in here? Oh, what the was that? Oh, what? Oh, what the was that? Angie, was that you? Do you not like me talking about Angie?
Next to me.
Next to me.
Is there something in the kitchen?
Down there.
Down there. Okay, I'll go to the kitchen.
He's not here.
Where is he at? Who's knocking on the door?
Touch.
Is somebody trying to get in the house? Is that you?
Okay, there's nobody out there.
Holy. Is this like a gateway? What the? Is that you?
What the was that?
The man that I heard upstairs. Can I hear you again?
Cross. I want to stay.
Well, you can't stay. The cross is where you need to go.
Confusion.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is that you? That was creepy.
Crystal also mentioned something that might be linked directly to the paranormal activities. She believes the house harbors a demon that traps souls. Now that's what I call some ridiculous nonsense, and I'm not talking about Crystal's beliefs. I was on a phone call, and he said something stupid. Sorry for the misinterpretation. I understand that the bigger the house is, the better it becomes. But who came up with that false statement? Maybe it was me, because that's the way I see it. Anyway, why are we talking about houses? Are we about to start a conversation about economic inflation? Or is that due to the fact that you're too broke to know anything about the house industry? That's why you made that claim at the beginning. Well, I'm not going to argue with you about that question because it will give me a headache, and I might not be able to sleep tonight because you're telling the truth with such harsh words. But next we have a house and its owner. Or should I say, a guy and his owner. In this case, is the ghost lingering around messing up his night sleeps? It seems like it's about to get dark. Is it actually true? Because it's still 4 p.m. where I am. You might have to check with an ophthalmologist if that's your case. Regardless of my pointless comments, this man has not been able to sleep tight and cozy lately. Is it because of the blanket? As ridiculous as this may sound, yeah, it's the blanket in this case. Don't get me wrong, there is a bunch of paranormal activity there, like his favorite plushie flying off the desk, or the curtains moving. But that blanket is slipping down under to the point where half of the man's body is uncovered, which could result in him catching a cold, and I'm just worried about his health, that's all. One night, he was doing the second one in the toilet when he started hearing sounds. He went outside to check, and I can't tell whether he had his pants up or not. But the light in the kitchen was flickering. The other night his bathroom door was going back and forth. He opened it to see if there was someone behind, and then he even went inside to get a closer look around, but he ended up being trapped.
Son de nuevo las 3 de la mañana. Estuve durmiendo tranquilo estos días, pero ahora me despertaron de vuelta los ruidos. Me recomendaron que prenda la luz. Me voy a quedar callado. Mierdazos. Concha de su madre. Déjame salir, hijo de puta. Déjame salir. Jesús. 3 de la mañana me vine a la casa del campo. Leí muchos comentarios que me recomendaban que me mude y me vine para acá para ver si el problema era yo. Pero parece que me sigue porque se escucha. Escuchando. Yo ya no, miedo ya no tengo. Y no hay nadie. El ropero de este es grandísimo, pero no es increíble, pero parece que me sigue. La verdad, no. ¿Qué es eso? Estoy en el baño, sigo acá en la casa del campo y me están golpeando la puerta y no puedo salir y estoy solo. Esa luz la dejé apagada. Déjame tranquilo. Déjame tranquilo. Andate.
I don't know what it is with these houses in Mexico and Spain. They all have similar designs when it comes to the interior. Every room has its own tile pattern, and each wall is a different color, not to mention the huge amount of items spread around. It makes these houses uneasy to stay in. If you once feel overwhelmed by anything, especially by a ghostly presence, you should never think twice. You just have to evacuate the place, even if that place happens to be your home. Because remember, home isn't a place, nor is it about people. I don't know what home is, honestly. But it's definitely no longer your home when ghosts invade it and try to freak you out of it, which takes me to Zen, our investigator in the upcoming footage. He was heading to an abandoned house he previously investigated, and he did reach his destiny in the end. What a nice context, but to be honest, he never provided any context to begin with, other than the fact that he made a previous visit. It all began when he set up his equipment and started using the ghost detector device, waiting for any possible response. He eventually received what he hoped for, multiple knocks on the wall in front of him. Though he rushed to check the place, obviously he was completely alone. Then it turned into chaos when the REM pod, or whatever the device he was using, began beeping time and time again. It was almost as if he was working at a McDonald's counter, because the beep sounded exactly like that. Zen had a bell hanging on the doorknob. It was rattled and rang on its own. If you thought it was done there, then think again. For once in your life, think twice. As the paranormal activity escalated, the bangs became more apparent, but this time these knocks reached the doors. The ghosts didn't hold back on the man, and he had a wild reaction, not just because he was scared, but because he pointed at the source of the activity and then stared at us, almost blaming us, as if we were the ones who were trying to scare him. At some point, the man was terrified and ran back to the dining room, but I couldn't tell why. But the second time clarified my suspicions. The reason why Zen ran in fear was due to the curtain being pulled while no wind or person was behind it.
Hemos aquí colocado esa cámara de nuevo. Fijaos. Esto yo no lo recuerdo así. Hubieron bastantes respuestas increíbles. Y vamos a colocar un poco las cosas, ¿no? Esto por eso ahí. Y esta por aquí. Ahí está. Un momento. Ahí está. Literal, ¿eh? Tío, dos toques ahí. Tío, otra vez. Y este lo vamos a colocar aquí. Lo muevo. ¡Eh! Anda un golpe por aquí. Ha tocado la puerta. Ha sonado en la puerta, tío. Esto va a pitar. Hostia.
La ha tocado. La ha tocado. Han dado 3 toques, tío. 3 toques. Hostia. 3 toques. Y la puerta cerrada. ¡Mira, mira! Dios mío, Dios mío. Dios mío, Dios mío. Se ha reído. Dios mío. Dios mío. ¿De dónde ha salido esa risa, tío? Tío. Tío, eso venía para mí. Dios mío, bendito de mi vida. Tío. Mira, y pita el detector. Pedazo de estruendo ahí otra vez, tío. Tío, están pitando a la vez, pitado también el del fondo. Ahora que estoy aquí, vuelve a manifestarte. ¡Hostia, hostia, hostia! ¡Madre mía! ¡Déjame en paz! ¡Hostia, que parió! ¡Hostia, que parió! Dios mío de mi alma y de mi corazón.
That was a 5-star night right there for this guy. But the last time I featured him, the investigation was even more intense. But that was the past. We here only care about the present moments. Enjoy them as they are. Javi and Gio, and these 2 names are too weird for me to even make up, so these are the real names of our 2 dudes in the next clip. Javi is a young dude who makes videos for YouTube where he goes to different locations and documents his journey, and he is also a guy who is interested in haunted places. That's great, then what about Gio? He is just the hero's friend, the one-liner in movies, who makes reactions and barely has any real purpose. Anyways, they were both invited to this forest, as the guide in the area has told the owner of the hut where he stays the night that he has been hearing some strange noises all the time around him that send shivers down his spine, and that he needs a promotion if he is going to keep working this job. Those last 2 things were added up by me for extra action. So here come Javi and Gio, who will not solve this mystery but rather make some good, or should I say, some great views out of this situation. A pretty girl, as described by Javi, told him that they should meet at the hut or something like that. But as the investigation began, there wasn't anything particular to be scared of. There were some strange sounds nonetheless and a broken egg, but that's Mother Nature to you, buddy. The scary chapter kicked in when they encountered what looked like a tent and a sheet of clothing hanging on the tree. It's now getting creepy. Do you think so? Then hear this, a lady with no cloth on whatsoever performed some weird dances all by herself. but it seems like she was actually performing some dark magic. These two ended up running after she gave them the dramatic Hollywood movie turnaround stare.
Pues no, se me hace raro, gente, porque estamos, o sea, ya estamos medio le... ¿Mejor para atrás? ¿O qué? Ay.
Se escuchó como...
Es que sí es una pedrada, ¿no?
Esa sí fue una pedrada.
Broma pesada, se asustan. Mira, güey, te estoy diciendo, es un huevo. ¿De qué? ¿Quién sabe? Los de serpientes son más grandes, ¿no? Mucho más grandes.
De hecho, sí. ¿Que era un gusano, no? ¿O qué es?
¿Dónde? Ah, la madre, sí. A ver, ustedes no saben ni qué andamos viendo, ¿verdad? Nosotros acá explicando les voy a enseñar un poquito esto. Nomás que ya no sé si sea terreno. Se está moviendo esa madre. Se está moviendo esa madre, se está moviendo esa madre.
Te estoy diciendo.
Güey, pero se empezó a mover. Ve cómo se mueve.
No, es que
Y no hay aire, güey.
no hay aire, no. No hay nada de aire, güey. Nada de aire. Risa nerviosa.
Güey, es que, o sea, se mueve. Literalmente tiene un movimiento repetitivo, güey. Ajá, y que nomás es así. Hoy. Son pasos, ¿no?
Se está acercando, ¿no?
Ve. ¿Cómo se queda?
Ajá, sí hay
Platican,
más.
algo así.
Está
Pero-
como muy...
Escuché a un...
Acá.
Sí, yo lo escuché para allá. ¿Qué es esa madre? ¿Sí se escucha de allá? Y para allá es donde estaba el pinche de este, güey. Para allá es donde estaba todo eso que... Hoy, ya se empiezan a escuchar más ruidos. Pero neta, madre, ¿es una persona?
No hay.
¿Qué madre, güey? ¿Qué es eso? A ver, está desnudo, güey. Es mujer. ¿Qué trae en la mano? Hay que intentar acercarnos un poquito más.
I wonder if that was actually a lady or a man with long hair. And if she was a lady in fact, that takes me to my next point, which is a theory. Couldn't this be actually the same lady who talked to them as I mentioned in the introduction? If that theory sounds unbelievably unbelievable to you, then wait till you hear this one. Why did she have to turn around if she was, in fact, performing a ritual? And why did it have to be so dramatic? While watching the next video, I was hyped at first based on the highlights they had at the beginning, knowing that I'm set to watch one heck of a creepy experience with ghosts. But as time passed, I realized these folks were not setting up anything. That was the beginning of the video. There were no highlights. Right from the get-go, they were deeply involved with the ghosts. As one of them, let's call him Jack, he was the one who felt all the pain before they entered the room that was right in front of them and was the only room around. Jack's arm was caught from behind the door. It wasn't like his arm got stuck or as if the door slammed on it. The door was too vintage. It's one slam away from collapsing, but there seems to have been some force grabbing Jack by his arm hard. After his arm was released, he had to take a breath before even getting inside that room. And so the door moved on its own. It was almost a sign from the ghost telling them to get in. Little did they know what was about to happen to them. Jack wasn't ready to get possessed that night, but he had a roller coaster awaiting him in there. As they entered the room, they found a jar covered with a sheet of cloth, and wrapped around it was a string with peppers and a cursed apple attached to it. Let me explain why that apple was cursed and how I found out. I'm not that smart, but even a jerk would have been able to tell. That apple was covered with black magic and an evil type of sorcery to use against others. Despite that, there were other signs hinting that these two had to evade before things got scarier and more serious. Objects were thrown at them out of nowhere, while there were 2 sticks in that room forming the X sign. The 2 sticks were also snapped out of their place somehow. Now when it comes to Jack, that man never learns. He was attacked by these ghosts multiple times, but he resisted nonetheless, until he decided to touch that apple, where he suffered the most. Despite being halfway possessed by these ghosts, he kept touching the apple and even tried to burn it at some point, thinking he would break the magic seal by doing so.
क्या हो गया यार? क्या चीज थी यार?
पता नहीं की चीज है।
बाल भी वहां से उतर गए सारे। क्या हुआ? ये क्या लगा गया?
हुई है नहीं तो
ये वाला दरवाजा, इसके पीछे कुछ है। खुद आगे ना जाना यार, पाँव से यहाँ तक खोल दो। मैं अंदर से दिखाऊं? उसको पाँव मार के खोलना क्या है अंदर?
गले में यार, साइड से कर रहा हूँ, ये दिखाइएगा ध्यान से।
इसको भी खोल दे।
अंदर कोई चीज है, अंदर कोई ना अजीब सी कोई चीज रखी हुई है।
ये क्या हो गया? बच गया
यार,
सर पे
ध्यान से ठीक है, मैं इधर करना। ठीक है,
मिर्चे है और पता नहीं क्या है
यार,
मिर्चे
वो नहीं, ये पिक्चर जिसके ऊपर है वो तो देखे, वो क्या है?
नहीं नजर आ रहा, कुछ सुइयां नजर आ रही है बस, गोल सी चीज है कुछ।
यार कोई है सही पीछे ना, कोई बड़ी चीज है, उसके ऊपर सुइयां लगाई गई हैं।
यार सभी मेरे सामने ये वहां से उड़ती हुई आई है।
उस बंदे ने उसी हिसाब से जो है वो किया है जादू, ताकि जो है ना कि बंदा अंदर आ न सके। ओए ओए ओए,
ये क्या हुआ? ये क्या हुआ?
पता नहीं, एकदम से मेरा
ये दोनों स्टिक्स आपकी तरफ आई हैं।
वहां पर आकर लगी
यार अंदर यार सांस घुट रहा
है तो वैसे कुछ नहीं,
यार ये वही वाली जो है ना स्टिक यहाँ पे जो पड़ी है, ये उड़ती हुई है आपकी तरफ।
हर बार ही हुआ था, बाकी और कुछ नहीं हुआ। 3 छोटी मोटी खैर है
यार, ये दूसरी भी और बिल्कुल उसी
की है। क्या ट्रंक है, इसके अंदर भी है कुछ चांद भाई,
मटके के अंदर।
हाँ
हो सकता है जैसे वो किया हो।
अल्लाह
भाई
अकबर।
साहब
यार जान भाई आप ना
सर
ध्यान
बचाना
रखना है,
यार।
मेरे ऊपर भी आपने जो है ना इधर उधर फोकस रखना है कि कोई चीज लगे ना,
सर भाई वो ना
क्योंकि मेरा अभी ना पीछे भी है। शॉपर है, कोई शॉपर में डाल
ओए सर भाई यार उससे हाथ हटा दे। या अल्लाह खैर। डोर टूट गई है यार उसकी। डोर टूटी है तो
ओए 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 अल्लाह हाथों में आ गया।
इसको मैं कहता सब भाई जला दे।
बाहर ले जाते हैं इसे। ओए अल्लाह ओए किधर गई?
ये इधर पड़ा
है,
ये रहा।
यार लाइटर किधर है?
लाइटर में
है, लाइटर आपके पास?
ये ले
इधर ही है।
हाँ
इधर करना यार, जली नहीं है और जल्दी आना।
इसको ना अलग करो यार उससे किस तरह, फिर जरा आसानी हो जाएगी।
मेरा हाथ खींची। ओए आप ओए
जल गई।
जल रही है। करना दिखाना।
It felt almost like he was being electrocuted. Like, how am I even supposed to believe that the apple was actually used for black magic? Because when you want to use it against someone, you need a photo of that person, not some elementary school level drawing. Working at schools, it's almost like the job that almost no one would want to dream of. But I'm not talking about working in a school as a teacher. No, that is a nightmare of its own. We are here focusing on jobs like janitors and security guards. There is no way anyone would want to be a security guard at night for school with the eerie feeling you would have when walking around these corridors at midnight that usually are crowded, all of a sudden empty. And it's dark, too. That takes us to the poor dude in the next video, Angelo. This young fellow might not look like a fit for such a job, especially based on his physique. But remember, the smallest stone you underestimate might be the one that holds the most amount of damage. Now that is a lot of damage. Angelo, he works as a security guard, as I mentioned, but what I haven't covered yet is the school itself. It's not an ordinary one. No, it's abandoned. Now here comes the nosy dude in the background asking the same stupid question. If the place is abandoned, why would it need a security guard to watch over it? Like, is he protecting what used to belong to humans and now may belong to ghosts and jinn? Well, not really. The place has been left to rot for over a year at this point, but many items that are considered valuable are left there, which made this job worth taking for Angelo. I don't know if they are paying well, but no job in this world would be worth living through this much stress and fear, in my opinion. The school's location is what might be the main driver behind the creepy activities Angelo has been witnessing. The school is located in Managua, Nicaragua. It's said that the land once served as a sanctuary during the Nicaraguan civil conflict, and the bodies of the soldiers who fought back then were buried near this school, might even have been buried under its grounds. Not sure about this one. So our guy here has to go through many paranormal occurrences, such as looking from his window at night to see a weird, dark hand peeking from the room in the distance, and the door being dragged back and forth on its own. In that very same room, there was a scene of a figure putting his head at the window. Perhaps the most terrifying occurrence was when a figure was walking on the railing right above this man.
Entonces, ¿qué es eso que se escucha? ¿Qué es eso que se escucha? Bueno. Hola, siempre. Hola, siempre. Puta gente. Me están asustando, gente. Miren esto. Miren esto, gente. Lo voy a dejar aquí. Voy a dejar aquí el teléfono. Miren esa ventana que está semiabierta, gente. No despeguen la vista. Te lo juro que estoy solo. Mira, ahí se estaba asomando alguien hace rato y me estaban cerrando la puerta. Yo creí, bueno, le voy a poner zoom. Yo creí que era algo, un perro o algo así, pero miren, no creo que sea un perro. Miren, 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 miren. Miren. ¡Hijo de puta! Ahí está, gente. Miren, 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 miren. Dios santo. Mira, mira. Y parece que sabe que lo estoy viendo. Por eso no he salido de hace rato. Mira, mira cómo cierra la puerta. Mira, 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 mira. Pues la 100 puta, no te creo, man. No, yo me voy de aquí. O llamo a la jefa o llamo a mi papá, pero yo me voy de aquí. Voy a apagar la luz porque si hay alguien ahí ya debe saber que estoy aquí. Entonces voy a apagar la luz. Ay, ahí está. Paranormal, algunas son más bien sospechas de algún ladrón. Esto antes fue un centro tecnológico donde le daban clases a personas, pues sabes, venían aquí las personas y recibían clases y pues básicamente quedó abandonado pues por razones que yo no entiendo, pero todo esto estaba lleno de computadoras y todas las aulas también de otras cosas, pues no sé, reparadores de mecánica o qué sé yo, no sé. Y pues este es el lugar por donde yo inicio. De aquí es donde yo inicio. Aquella puerta que ven allá, no sé si la pueden ver desde aquí. Esa puerta que está allá, que probablemente se vaya a abrir. ¿Ves? Ahí está, sabía yo. Siempre a esta hora se abre. Esa puerta es donde me estaba apareciendo la otra cosa del video anterior. Una carita que salía y salía. Ahí está, ahí está, ahí está, ahí está, ahí está, ahí está. ¡Oh, puta! Voy a mi torre de control. Bueno, gente, por eso les digo que yo siempre me gusta estar cerca de mi torre de control. Y esta sería la última aula que reviso en el rondín. Aquí como pueden ver, pues está un poco descuidada porque aquí han guardado las cosas que el colegio antes usaba. Me escuché algo, pero no sé qué fue. Bueno, pues la 100 puta. Uy, fue la 100 puta. No jodas. Ojalá que lo haya grabado. Ojalá que lo haya grabado.
I also forgot to mention the dogs. And no, I'm not referring to Angelo's gang. There are real dogs in the place that he has to take care of and feed. That is one more reason why this guy has this job, which isn't reasonable enough for me still. A little boy named Syke, or Mike. Let's call him Mike because his parents ran away from him without telling me what his name was. He must be a disappointment. Mikey was alone in his house when he felt dizzy and bored. At that moment, Mike was about to bring out the demon inside of him, to bring out that horny animal which no one wants to see. But instead, he brought a different demon to the house. While he was sitting watching some TV, a chair moved. Mike was too busy looking at these butts. I don't know what Mike is into, but from the look of his physical appearance and body movement, I can say that I have no idea. After that chair movement, the demon saw that this dude is from Gen Z, which means his level of attention is below average, so they threw something, and this time it was in front of him so he could see it. And thank God he did. Then, after trying to hold his together, and it didn't work out for him, he had to go and use the toilet before he pees himself in front of the camera and the video becomes a solo version of Two Girls, One. And while he was there, not in that adult movie, when he was using the toilet, the baby cart, which came out of nowhere, it moved by itself to block Mike's way. When Mike came back and saw what had happened, he gave us the fast turnaround as if he had high reflexes. It didn't take him long before he went back to the toilet, and while he was there, the Ouija board that was on the table, which could also be a tea tray. The resolution was so ultra high that I couldn't tell. Regardless, that thing fell. I was waiting for something crazy to happen when Mikey turned around, but I knew I shouldn't expect a lot from a Gen Z boy. When I was about to watch the subsequent clip, before I even heard a single word, I was preparing myself for the guy in the video to start dropping on me some Spanish phrases that would leave me in a circle of confusion, not knowing a single word he was speaking. But then, it turned out he speaks English so fluently that fluency left me the moment he began talking, and I started stuttering. But what made me stutter even more and quiver down to my core was the footage itself. Daniel, a doctor, works in a hospital. The hospital itself has no dark history or tragic past. It's just your everyday regular hospital you won't want to be in. But it seems like, despite that, the ghosts still want to have a piece of it somehow. Daniel seems to be okay with the paranormal activity, as if he used to see it on a regular basis, but it doesn't seem like something a patient would want to witness. On his way to the surgery room, the doors keep opening and closing on their own, and it's so clear that these are not automatic doors. But how did I know it's not automatic? Just trust me.
This door keeps on opening and closing. Like, there's nobody here. I'm not doing the sensor, but it keeps on opening and closing. And I'm alone. I'm alone.
These doors do look advanced, as they can actually be opened and closed on their own when someone is trying to get in or out, but that doesn't explain the paranormal activity itself, because even if the doors are automatic, don't they need something or someone right in front of them to even function? So this leaves a question: were these doors automatic, and why are they haunted? And who hasn't subscribed and watched the next video on screen yet?